Hello, good morning students. Welcome back with your chemistry teacher Rajkumar Juppa sir. Today we will discuss in coordination compound crystal field theory, and this crystal field theory given by Hans Bethe and John Van Vleck in 1932, and they will explain about the electrostatic nature of the bonding between the central metal atom and the ligands. They state that these interactions are not covalent, but according to the Werner theory and valence bond theory, the interaction between the central metal atom and ligands are covalent in nature because they form the coordinate bond. But certain properties these theory not explain. Just like in valence bond theory, the major drawback is that why some ligands use inner d orbital and form the low spin complex, and why some ligands use outer d orbitals to form the high spin complex. These are the drawbacks of this valence bond theory, and this is not explained by the valence bond. To conclude or to remove these drawbacks, we have to be reached to a new theory that is known as a crystal field theory. तो क्रिस्टल फील्ड थ्योरी आपको वैलेंस बॉन्ड थ्योरी के जो ड्रॉबैक्स हैं उनको क्लियर करके बताती है. वैलेंस बॉन्ड थ्योरी में जो मुख्य ड्रॉबैक था कि कुछ जो लीजेंट हैं इनर डी ऑर्बिटल यूज़ करते हैं. आपको मैंने डायग्राम्स के अंदर जब बना के दिखाया तो आपने पाया होगा कि कई बार सर तो इनर डी ऑर्बिटल यूज़ कर लेते हैं, कभी आउटर डी ऑर्बिटल यूज़ कर लेते हैं. तो ये सब क्यों है, ऐसा किस लिए हो रहा है? तो इन सब सवालों के जवाब हैं, जो क्वेश्चंस हैं, इनके जो आंसर हैं आपको मिलेंगे क्रिस्टल फील्ड थ्योरी के अंदर मिलेंगे. Let us study the crystal field theory given by Hans and Bethe and find out the drawbacks of the valence bond theory. Crystal field theory states that the interaction between central metal atom and ligands are electrostatic in nature. इसको इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक इन नेचर क्यों कहा गया है? क्योंकि सेंट्रल मेटल एटम है वो पॉजिटिवली चार्ज है और जो लीजेंट है वो नेगेटिवली चार्ज है, और जो अपोजिट चार्जेस के बीच में इंट्रैक्शन होती हैं वो कैसी होती हैं? इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स होती हैं. यानी लीजेंट्स नेगेटिवली चार्ज हैं, दे विल अट्रैक्ट द सेंट्रल मेटल एटम. नाउ इट स्टेट्स दैट when the ligands approach to the central metal atom, the degeneracy of the d orbitals are try to maintain its electron cloud being symmetrical in nature. But as the interaction between the central metal atom, this is positively charged, this is the central metal atom, and these are the ligands, the interaction between them, the degeneracy of the d orbital is lost and it is split up into two half. The lower energy level, that is known as the T2G level, and higher energy level, that is known as the TEG level. This is the second postulates. This is the d orbital degenerate d orbitals, and it is symmetrical in nature. Why it is said to be the degenerate? Because these are of the equivalent in energy. When the interaction between the central metal atom and a ligand start, their degeneracy is not able to maintain. This become higher in energy and they are split up into two half. The energy level, the lower energy level, that is known as the T2G energy level. It contains the 3 d orbital dxy, yz and zx, and upper energy level, that is dx square minus y square and dz square. Why this dxy, yz and zx become the lower in energy? Because these are lie in between the axes. You can see here the orbitals on the board. See here, this is dxy, yz and this is zx. These are lie, this is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. These are lie in between the axes. So the repulsion is less. This is the xy, yz and zx. These are lie in between the axes and the repulsion is less. But on the other hand, dx square minus y square and dz square, these orbitals lie along the axis, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, and they will experience more repulsive forces and they become higher in energy. That's why they are lie in the upper level, that is higher in energy. This level is known as TEG energy level. This is higher in energy. So you can easily see that the orbital dxy, yz and zx are the lower in energy. On the other hand, dx square minus y square and dz squares are higher in energy. The x square minus y square और dz square क्या है? Higher in energy हो जाएंगे. और dxy, yz and zx are lower in energy. Why these are lower in energy? Between these are lie in between the axes, and dx square and y square, these are along the axis and they become the higher in energy. And first we study about the crystal field energy diagram for the octahedral complex. First we talk about the energy level diagram for the octahedral complex. This is the energy level diagram for the octahedral complex. Crystal field energy level diagram for octahedral complex. First we study. In that, this is the d orbital. This try to maintain its degeneracy, but when the interaction start between the central metal atom and the ligands, this degeneracy is split into two half, T2g and TEG. T2g is the lower in energy. Why? Because this lie in between the axes, this orbital dxy, yz and zx. On the other hand, dx square minus y square, dz square, this is lie in higher energy, TEG level. And this center is known as the Bohr-Berry center. Bohr-Berry center. Its value is, crystal field energy is represented by delta naught, because we are preparing the diagram for crystal field energy level diagram for the octahedral complex. Delta is the crystal field splitting energy and it is represent O, and this is known as the Bohr-Berry center. And the energy of crystal field splitting is delta naught is 0 at this Bohr-Berry center, and it is higher in energy. How much higher in energy? 0.6 time of the delta naught positive. This is higher in energy, and this dx, yz and zx orbitals are lower in energy. How much? Minus 0.4 times of the delta naught. By this we are able to calculate the crystal field energy for the T2g and TEG level. And this show the Bohr-Berry center. From the difference of the energy between the two levels is known as the crystal field splitting energy. This is known as the crystal field splitting energy. we are able to calculate this crystal field splitting energy. And after this we will study about the Legends, why some Legends use the inner d orbital and why these some Legends use the outer d orbitals. This is based on the crystal field splitting energy of the Legends, and this is depend on the strength of the Legend. Now students, let us see the crystal field energy diagram for the octohedral complex in something fair manner. I will remove all the complication from here. This is the degenerate d orbitals that is equivalent in energy. When the interaction start between the Legends and the d orbitals, that become higher in energy and split up into two half. That is T2g energy level and this is the TEG energy level. This is T2g and this is the TEG. This is higher in energy, this is lower in energy. This center is known as the Bohr-Barry center, average energy. And the difference of energy between the two sets of the d orbital, listen me carefully, the difference of energy between the two sets of the d orbital is known as the crystal field splitting energy, and this crystal field splitting energy is zero at this center, that is known as the Bohr-Barry center. And if we want to calculate the energy for these orbitals, this is 0.6 time high than that of this average splitting energy. And if we move to for the dxy, yz and dxz orbitals के लिए अगर हम energy calculate करते हैं, that is lower by minus 0.4 time of the delta naught. अभी आपने ये क्वेश्चंस वैलेंस बॉन्ड थ्योरी में देखा था कि why some orbitals, some Legends use outer d orbitals and why some use the inner d orbitals. This is depend on the strength of crystal field energy of the Legends, and this crystal field theory mainly tell us about this. The Legends has their own magnitude of crystal field splitting energy. When the Legend approach to the d orbitals, it's split up into two half. If the strong Legend, splitting is more. If the Legend is strong, splitting is more, and it will fill the lower orbitals and it forms the low spin complex. If the Legend is weak, the splitting is less, and first it fill lower orbitals, then it fill higher energy level orbitals. It means electron transfer from lower energy level to the higher energy level. So what you remember here, strong filled Legends, splitting is more and low spin complex is formed. If the weak filled Legends, splitting is less and it form high spin complex. Now in this we will study spectrochemical series. The arrangement of the Legends according to their crystal field splitting energy is called spectrochemical series. See here, I arrange all the Legends according to their energy. This is the water Legends, and the Legends that is lying before the water, just like this: isothiocyanides, ammonia, ethylene diamine, nitrate, cyanide and carbon monoxides. These are strong filled Legends and these are higher in energy. And the Legends after lying water, these are low crystal field energy. So you can remember easily only 4 to 5 Legends, that's are carbon monoxide, cyanide, nitrite, ethylene diamine, ammonia and isocyanides are the strong filled Legends, and you can remember it easily. And after the water there is a weak filled Legends are present, and there is a weak filled Legends and their splitting is less, and on the basis of this the Legends use outer d orbital and inner d orbital complexes are formed on the basis of the splitting of these degenerate d orbitals. This is all about the octahedral splitting energy level diagram, crystal field splitting energy level diagram for the octahedral complex. After this, we will study about the crystal field splitting energy level diagram for the square planar complex and tetrahedral complex. Now student, after this we will study about the crystal field theory for the tetrahedral complex. For the tetrahedral complex, this is the d orbitals, that is the degenerates in energy in free ionic states when there is no interaction between the ligand and the central metal atom. When they start to interaction, they become slightly higher in energy. The average energy of the d orbitals in spherical crystal field, and it is symmetrically destroyed now, and it is split up into the two half, T2G and TEG. And this tetrahedral complex energy level diagram is the reverse of octahedral crystal field splitting energy level diagram. It just reverse of this, but the splitting between the two levels T2G and TEG is the small, and this is the Borbéry center, and this is the difference of energy between the two d orbitals, and it is small in comparison of the octahedral complex. The energy splitting for the octahedral complex is large, but for the tetrahedral complex it is the small, that is the delta T, crystal field splitting energy for the tetrahedral complex. Now for the TEG level, this is the Borbéry center, this is 0.4 time of the delta T, and for the T2G level it is minus 0.6 of the delta T, and these always form high spin configurations. These tetrahedral complex is always form high spin configuration complexes. Why? Because the splitting of energy between the two T2G and TEG is the less. It is always, keep in mind, it is always form high spin configuration compounds are formed. Now after this we will study about the square planar complex for the crystal field energy level diagram. Now student, crystal field theory for the square planar complex is obtained by the octahedral complex. This is the crystal field energy level diagram for the octahedral complex. This is the degenerate d orbitals. When the interaction start between the central metal atom d orbital and the ligands, become unsymmetrical and split up into two half, and it form the octahedral complex. dxy, yz, zx are lower in energy, that is at the T2G level, and dx square minus y square and dz squares are the higher in energy, and the splitting energy is known as the crystal field splitting energy for the octahedral complex. Now the square planar complex is obtained from the octahedral complex by removing the z components from the ligands. If we remove the z components, dz square, that is become lower in energy, and dx square minus y square, this become higher in energy because it is in direct in the same axis of the ligand and the central atom. So the repulsion is more and it become higher in energy, and dz square become lower in energy, and dxy slightly higher in energy because it is in repulsion with the ligands, and dxz and yz become lower in energy. This is the splitting of d orbitals in square planar complex, and this is act as a one orbital, 1, 2, 3, and these two are at the 4, and this is from the square planar geometry as. These are the 4 directions of the hybridized orbitals, and this square planar complex is obtained by removing the negative charge from the z axis, and this can be obtained from octahedral complex. Watch it carefully. Now student, after this we will study about the factor affecting magnitude of orbital splitting energy. The orbital splitting energy depends upon the 4 factors. First is the oxidation state of the metal ion. If the higher oxidation state of metal ion, their crystal field splitting energy should be high. And second factor on which it is depend, nature of the metal ions. If we move down the group within the same group, just like 3D, 4D and 5D, within the same group, when you move down the group in the D block elements, their crystal field splitting energy increases, and tendency to form the low spin complex increase. That's why the element in second and third transition series form low spin complex. Low spin complex is formed. Now the geometry, third factor is the geometry of the coordination entity is depend upon the crystal field splitting energy. Now nature of the ligands for the same metal ion, different ligands form. For the same metal ion, different ligands result in the different amount of the splitting of the energy. This is depend upon the strength of the ligand. That's why we will study the spectrochemical series. Strong ligands, there is a more splitting of the d orbitals, and weak field ligand, their splitting energy is less. These are the factors that affecting the magnitude of the orbital splitting energy for the d block elements to form the coordination compound. Now after this students, we will study about the limitation of the crystal field theory. Now crystal field theory successfully explain the crystal field splitting energy level diagrams and their magnetic properties and the color of the compounds, but it is fails to explain that he is not considered the covalent character of the central metal atom and the ligands. There the coordinate bonds are formed. He take up the total interactions are ionic, and that is not according to the practical effects, but it is just explain the facts. On the second major drawbacks of this theory is that the interaction of the ions with the central atoms are totally ionic, and this depend upon the strength of the anions. Actually the anions are lie at the lower part of the spectrochemical series. This is all about the limitation of the crystal field theory, and it is truly lot of explain about the coordination compounds. Now students, in this series our next topic is the metal carbonyls. What are the metal carbonyls? Metal carbonyls are the organometallic compound. Listen it carefully. Organometallic compound in which the carbon monoxide is act as a ligand. What are the organometallic compounds? Organometallic compounds in which a metal is directly linked to a carbon atom. That's why these are homoplatic in nature. What is homoplatic? Homoplatic means the same legend joined to the central atom. This is the example of the metal carbonyls: tetracarbonyl nickel, pentacarbonyl iron, hexacarbonyl chromium. And in this tetracarbonyl nickel, it is in square planar complex. It is in sp3. Sorry, it is in sp3 hybridization, and nickel being the central atom. This is the geometry of the compound. In this compound, it is sp 3D hybridization is from the trigonal bipyramidal geometry. And in this chromium is in sp3d2 hybridization, and it form octahedral geometry. These are the geometry of the some metal carbonyls compounds. Now after this we will study about their properties of the metal carbonyls compound. Now students, after this we will study about the property of the metal carbonyls. Thus metal carbonyls compounds are solid at room temperature, and these are only soluble in hydrocarbon solvents, just like the methane, ethane, propane. These are the hydrocarbon solvents, and their reactivity is due to the carbon monoxide and some of due to their central metal atoms. They are highly reactive, so they are poisonous in nature. They are used in the formation of insecticides, and pesticides are used in our fields, and they are used as a industry catalyst and precursor of some organic compounds. These are used as a precursor. Precursor means starting material, and that help to formation of a organic compounds. These are the uses and properties of the metal carbonyls compound. After this we will study about bonding in metal carbonyls. Now in the bonding of the central metal atom and the carbon monoxide we will study in this topic, and the electron present in the pi 2p orbital of the carbon monoxide that donate the electron to the empty d orbital and form a sigma bond. And due to the formation of bond, carbon monoxide and central metal atom d orbitals are come closer, and the interaction is start between the filled d orbitals and empty orbitals of the pi 2p antibonding orbitals of the carbon monoxides. The electron present in the d orbitals transfer to the empty pi antibonding pi 2p orbitals of the carbon monoxides, and there is a formation of a pi bond. And this collective effect of the sigma bond and the pi bond is known as the synergic effect. It means it increases the strength of the sigma bond by formation of a pi bond. This is known as the back bonding, because the electrons is transferred from filled d orbital of the central metal atom to the empty orbital of the carbon monoxide antibonding pi 2p orbitals. This type of bonding is known as the synergic bonding, and it shows the synergic effects. Synergic effect means the combined effects of the two bonds, sigma bond and the pi bond. So watch these videos carefully students, and make notes and share with your friends, and subscribe the channel now. And as I promise you, I regularly giving the video from the all levels, from junior level 6th class to the master level. I regularly form the videos, and it's quietly helpful for you, but it take the times, and your subscriptions and likes boost up my morals now. Thank you and have a nice day. Watch the video and enjoy the video. Bye bye.